Hello, Saints. Very quickly, let's determine whether this is the end times or whether, we're all just imagining these things. Okay, so the Bible tells us when there's a great falling away from God that he will call to us with all of these obvious signs. So the obvious signs that he's going to call to us with when there's no fear of God, God will call to us with these obvious signs. Some of these obvious signs are found in Hosea 4 and Amos 4. There's no fear of God, then he's going to call to us with severe weather, mass animal deaths, droughts in one city, floods in another. Okay, if you want the full list, then you go over to Leviticus 26, verses 14 through 33. God tells us again over here that when his people fall away from him, starting in verse 14 and 15 and 16, as you read this, he said, when his people fall away from him, he will call to us with all of these signs. So in verse 14, 15, 16, you look at the recent headline news, you get all the way up to verse 26, where we currently are. God's next judgments are food shortages and worldwide war. So God will call to us. He will lift up his hedge of protection. So if these are the end times, which the obvious signs speaks for themselves, the severe weather, the droughts, the floods, the wildfires, the mass animal deaths, God has already removed over 2/3 of all the animals from off this planet. So who is the end time, false prophet and antichrist? Well, the false prophet's easy enough to identify. 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 19 through 23 says a lying spirit will speak, it says God has put a lying spirit in the mouth of these prophets. So when God's people fall away from him, he will put a lying spirit into power. We see this with all of the lying spirit speaking with images over there in Europe and all these areas, So now, who is the Antichrist? What's his role in everything? His role, okay, God lifts up his hedge of protection. God's next judgments are food shortages and worldwide war. So God hands his sword to who? Who's capable of starting worldwide war 3? When God lifts up his hedge of protection, he's going to hand his rod over to this individual, and he will start worldwide war 3. Hey, I'll see you in the next video.